Okay, so as we've been working our way through 2025, we've had generally, the interest rates have been below 7%, but they're not far below. They've generally been hovering between about 6.5 to 6.7, usually up to 6.9. It's only been down to 6.5 for a brief period of time, but mostly it's been between the 6.7 and 6.9 range. And so with that, it's made a lot of people, it's hard. It makes houses not as affordable as they otherwise would be. In addition to that, prices are high. And right now, a really big factor that we have working against people is the fact that there's a lot of concern about the overall economy. Consumer sentiment is very low. And so with that, what it's doing is it's making people afraid to make a move, whether that be to buy a place or to sell a place. Now, most of that is people are afraid to buy a new home. So what's been happening is demand has been going down, whereas supply, people are trying to put their house on the market and move because there's been a big buildup of inventory, right? There's a lot of people who are needing to sell, needing to upgrade, needing to downsize, needing to relocate, but they've been holding off because they have an incredible interest rate. And as that builds up, more and more people get to the point where they're like, I just have to go, despite how much it's going to cost me. So more and more people have been putting their house on the market and giving up the incredible interest rate that they had just because they have to move for whatever reason it is. And so with that, we're starting to see inventory build up, and inventory's been going up. And with the consumer sentiment being as low as it has been because of the economy at large, we're seeing demand starting to go down. So what does that mean to you? So if you are trying to buy a place right now, that means that you're going to have an easier time. It's not going to be as crazy competitive as it once was. It's going to be a much better experience for you, which is great news. That's awesome. It's also going to mean that over the coming months, if rates don't go down, now if rates go down, it's going to switch us right back to where we were. But if rates don't go down, we're going to start seeing prices going down as well. Now, Orange County is a very resilient market. We talked about this before. Most people own their houses free and clear, or not most, but a lot, so many. And so most people aren't in a position where they have to sell. And so what happens with that is it makes people not just sell on a whim, on a discount. So most people would rather than sell for less than their neighbor did, they'd rather just hold out. So Orange County is, as a result, a very resilient market, but it doesn't mean it's immune. So with that, it's looking like over the next coming months, it's possible if rates don't go down that we might start seeing a dip in home values, which for buyers would be great. For sellers, that's not so great. Now, as a seller, you have gotten all the appreciation and equity that you've received over the last few years just living in your house, unless you just bought a few months ago. You're still way far ahead. You're still doing great. Now, if you bought a few months ago and all of a sudden you need to sell again, now you might be in a difficult position, but most people don't find themselves there, but it's a possibility. And I would say if we do see any dip, it's not going to be substantial. Is that possible? Of course it's possible. But we have still, even though inventory is going up, it's still so low compared to where it was during the Great Depression, or Great Recession. So during the Great Recession, we had about 16,000 to 18,000 homes for sale in Orange County. Right now we're between 4,000 and 5,000, which is getting closer to pre-pandemic levels. We still have substantially less supply than we had during the pandemic or before the pandemic. So we have a long ways to go before we ever see a big drop off. Now we might see a little bit of a tilt down, but it's not going to be a big one, most likely. If that is going to happen, it'd be because it kept rates up for too long. There's things go crazy in the overall economy and all that. But the chances of us seeing a big drop off like we did during the Great Recession is quite low. Obviously, anything's possible. We learned that during COVID. So now what you should be looking for, like as a seller, anticipate it taking you a little bit longer to sell because we're starting to get more inventory, we're starting to get to pre-pandemic levels, we're starting to see more competition to sell your place. If you're a buyer, expect you to have a more balanced, more fair kind of environment when you try to buy a house. Before, it used to be very, very favoring the sellers very heavily. Now it's a little bit more even, and you get a little bit more of a fair playing field as you're trying to go about the whole process. So no matter what your situation is, we can always make sure that like as close to the best case scenario happens for you. We just have to sit down and we have to strategize and look at what's your situation, where is your house, how is the house doing, and what is the current market when you're ready to go. So if you are wanting to buy or sell a place right now and make a move, just go ahead and reach out to me, like DM me, email, phone, text, anything. Like just reach out to me and we'll work on making it happen for you and putting together the best strategy for you so that we can help you work with the current market and get the best case scenario that we can for you. We'll see you next time.